Special Olympics Colorado athletes and coaches. Welcome to another mobility session for powerlifting. So these sessions are going to help complement your training during virtual summer games, and we will focus on muscles used specifically for powerlifting. However, everyone and anyone is welcome to join in these mobility sessions. Now, before you do start stretching, twisting, doing any type of physical activity, please consult with your doctor if you have any injuries or coming off of an injury or perhaps a surgery. So remember to consult with your doctor if you do have any questions. So as we move through these mobility sessions, we will be stretching and strengthening from the ground up our feet, specifically our arches, our ankles, calves, quadriceps, our hamstrings, our hips, in the low back, and also our hip flexors that get really tight. We'll also strengthen our core. We'll focus on our triceps and biceps, as well as our chest and our shoulders that we use a lot for those bench presses and deadlifts and things like that. So let's get started. So before we begin, let's come just to a comfortable seat. So I have with me a rolled up towel that I like to sit underneath my hips. So my hips are higher than my knees, and it makes it a little more comfortable to sit. So today in our squat mobility training, we will be stretching and strengthening our core and our chest, stabilizing our spine, but also decompressing and lengthening our spine. We'll also be focusing on stretching our hip flexors, front side of our hips, and our quadriceps. We'll also be focused on our arms, specifically our shoulders, and our biceps, triceps. And one of the cool things about these stretches and doing yoga as part of your training is that we also bring fresh blood and fresh oxygen into our nervous system. So it helps us to calm ourselves in any stressful situations, and we get that fresh blood back in our joints to help heal our joints and just keep that blood flowing as we do all of our trainings and our workouts. So let's get started. So we'll just come to our comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall, cross your legs, or if you feel comfortable, you can sit under heels. So from here, just close your eyes for a moment. Sitting up nice and tall, squeezing your shoulder blades towards the center of your back. Relax shoulders down. Just breathe here for a moment. As you feel your body start to find stillness and a little sense of calm. Just breathe here in this space, in this quiet. As you start to find stillness, start to expand your lungs. As you lengthen your breath, take a breath in. Open mouth, exhale. So a lot of the times we forget about how our breath sounds and feels as it moves through our body. So if we consciously start to listen to our breath, we find that it calms us, grounds us, especially during competitions. One more deep breath in together. Open mouth, exhale. Feeling the shoulders soften. All right, remove that towel if you have it, but leave it off to the side. We're going to use that later. So we're going to do another stretch that we did earlier in the first mobility session. So we're going to bring our left knee to the front and our foot towards the inner thigh, and then bring the opposite foot around to the back. So the right foot is facing the back wall. All right. So you're going to take the right hand. As you inhale, draw the hip in, and exhale, open. Inhale, rotate inward, and exhale, rotate externally. Good. Start to find that movement with your breath. As you inhale, rotate in. Exhale, rotate out. So So just find where your hip might feel a little tight. Just try and breathe through it. And if it's comfortable, you're welcome to just sit here and feel that stretch on the inner thigh of the right leg. 3 more breaths. That's one inhale. And an exhale is one cycle of breath. Again, inhale. Exhale. Sitting up nice and tall, using the breath to awaken the body. All right, from here, switch it out. So just switch out your legs, swinging the front leg behind you. Good. So the opposite sole of your foot is facing the back wall now. Keep your toes flexed to protect your knees. Take the left palm on top of your left hip or thigh. Take a breath in and internally rotate like you're twisting a jar. Exhale, externally rotate. So you're just telling that hip joint to open up. Nice and slow. Sitting up tall, you're welcome to, if you have difficulty sitting up tall, use that towel underneath your booty. Just keep moving the hip joint inward to the center and exhale towards the back wall. Keep the breath moving. 2 more. Again, forward and back. Nice job. All right, next come onto all fours for our tabletop position to warm up our spine. So wrists right underneath the shoulders, taps of my feet down. As I breathe in, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, round your spine, look at your belly. 2 more, inhale, close the eyes. Good, feel your strong spine opening. Pressing down through the knuckles as you inhale. And keep pressing down through the knuckles, exhale. Good, 1 more, let's do that together. Inhale. And exhale, round through the back like an angry black cat crossing your path. Nice job. All right, from here, curl the toes under for toes pose. We did this in the first mobility session. So you're gonna sit back on your hips, sit back on your heels with your hips, and tuck those pinky toes under, stretching the arches of your feet. And just breathe here, placing your palms on top of your thighs. Again, of course, if that's too much, if it becomes painful, just come out of it, releasing the toes. Try and be brave in the attempt and sit back onto those heels once more, allowing the arches of your feet to open. One more breath in, and a breath out. Good. Let's take one more cat-cow together. So come back to a neutral spine, squeezing shoulder blades towards one another. Your shoulder blades draw down your back away from your earlobes. Drop the belly a little up, stretching even the throat. And exhale, round, press into the tops of your feet and your palms. And opening up the backside of your body. Nice job. From here, let's find a high plank. So this high plank, shoulders over wrists again. Draw the heels behind you. Good. So lock that core into place. So you will press your belly button into your spine, through your spine to the sky. Take a breath in. And exhale. Good. From here, lift the hips. So leave the hands and feet glued to the mat. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Notice a flat spine, but knees can be bent. You do not have to have straight legs in this posture. This is your body, so you listen to it. One more breath in, pressing down into the knuckles. Look to your hands and walk the feet forward in between your hands. And take your feet wide for a ragdoll. So you can take your feet off of your towel or mat. Good. Your feet can be outside of your hips. And grab opposite bicep and sway side to side. Bent knees are welcome. So we're releasing low back here. Good. calming the nervous system here as we sway. So your head should feel like a heavy bowling ball. Give it a shake and a nod. You can even sweep your palms on the mat. And take one more breath in and a breath out. And from here, bring your toes to touch. Slowly rise up, unraveling your spine nice and slow as you reach arms high in mountain pose. Notice in my mountain pose, I'm gonna tuck my pelvis underneath the body, take that sway out of the low back. So root down into the heels, lift the toes, and spread the fingers wide. Take a breath in. Exhale, side body stretch over to the right. So your body looks like a half moon here. Again, we did this in the first session. So grab your left wrist with your right palm. Take a breath in and reach. Then inhale back to your mountain pose. Stay at the front of your mat. And exhale up and over. I'm just showing you a side body. What it looks like from the side, but stay on the front of your mat. Inhale back to mountain pose at the front of your mat. And hinge at the hips, bend the knees, hands come to the mat or the earth. Plant your palms into your shins. Notice my back is nice and flat, my knees are bent, shoulders away from ears. Breath is moving. Plant the palms, step the feet back, high plank. Good, so drop to your knees for a second and grab a sip of water, and I will show you 3 variations that we do for high to mid plank, or what we call in yoga, chaturanga. So grab some water, do that. So option 1 is to hold this high plank. As you draw the heels back, pull your wrists towards your heels, just energetically, so you feel your core start to shake already. So option 1, high plank to downward facing dog. Bend knees, nice flat back, okay? Gaze to the back wall. So you're gazing through your knees. Option 2, start in high plank. Pull the belly into your spine. Good. Drop to your knees, tuck elbows into your ribs, okay? So if your elbows ever pop out to the side, I want you to start from your knees. Tuck elbows in, they point to the back of your mat. Upward facing dog. Shoulders over the wrists. I'm pressing into the tops of my feet so my knees lift. Curl the toes under or come from the knees, tabletop to downward facing dog. All right? Option 3 is the full Monty. Full strength. High plank. Come forward a couple inches. Still tuck elbows to ribs. Reach the heels behind you. Upward facing dog, same thing, shoulders over wrists. Tops of feet press down, so my toenails are pressing into the mat. Good, back to high plank, to downward facing dog. Okay, again, you have option 1, 2, or 3. Feel free to rewind this if you'd like. You can go back and check out the options for yourself. So any of those options are available. They are always optional for you. Even if you're not feeling full strength, you can take any variation that you'd like. Just be brave in the attempt. Maybe try something you haven't done before. All right, and if you have sore shoulders or shoulder injury, you can skip it or use the modifications from the knees. All right, so when we're ready, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. So take a deep breath in here and a deep breath out. We'll take option 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to go with option 2 from the knees. Tuck elbows to ribs. Upward facing dog. As I look forward, notice length in my neck. Good. Engage the belly to spine. Downward facing dog. Nice job. Good effort. Listening to your body. As you look forward, come to the top of your fingers. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat spine. Reach. Forward fold, reach the top of your head down, bend the knees, rise up, mountain pose, all the way up, root down through the heels. Half moon, grab the left wrist, reach, arc, up and over to the right. Inhale, reach high, mountain. Exhale, up and over to the left. Press hips to the opposite side. Inhale, reach high. Forward fold, hinge from the hips, bend knees. Inhale back to your halfway lift, reset your spine, plant the palms. Here we go, option 1, 2, or 3. Option 2, tuck elbows. Upward facing, reach the crown of head high, knees float. Downward facing dog, gaze through the knees. Nice job. Look forward, travel to the top of your space for another Sunday. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Give the head a shake. Rise up, mountain pose. Tuck the pelvis under the body. Inhale up and over to the right. Hips pull to the left. Inhale, mountain reach high, root down. Exhale, over to the opposite side. Looking like a crescent moon. Inhale, reach back to center. Forward fold, hands through heart. Bend the knees, release the head. Gaze through the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, looking down at your mat. Here we go, plant the palms, find high plank first. Option 1, 2, or 3. Option 3 here. Upward facing dog. Drawing the shoulder blades back. Curl the toes. Downward facing dog. Let's do that one more time together to complete a sunny. Strengthening and stretching so many parts of our body. Travel to the top of your space. However, you wish to arrive. Inhale, halfway lift. Notice a lengthening in your spine. Feeling a stretch in your hamstrings as you fold forward. One more time, rise up, mountain pose. Here we go, sunny. Up and over to the right. Grab on the left wrist. Inhale, center. Exhale, over to the opposite side. Inhale, reach high. As you dive forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Press your palms into your shins or your thighs. Avoid the knees. Forward fold, plant the palms, step it back. Let me see, option 1, 2, or 3. Make sure those elbows are tucking into your ribs. Upward facing to downward facing dog. Good, go ahead and pedal out the feet. Is your breath moving through your body? Strengthening our arms, our shoulders here in this down dog. Take a breath in as one. And exhale, press your chest towards the thighs. Notice my knees are bent, but my back is flat. Then come on down to your knees. Grab a sip of water and wipe your brow a little bit. So again, you can always rewind, revisit those options, just so you learn about your body alignment and safe placement of your body. So part of the yoga flow is to place your body in a special way. That's what vinyasa means. So knowing when you're not doing something right, to learn how to fix it so you can continue to train and to stretch in a safe space, all right? So from here, everyone's favorite, we're gonna work on 2 core exercises. First is Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're gonna come to lying on our backs. Nice and easy here. So from here, bring the soles of your feet to touch. Open your legs like a book. So the soles of your feet touch, knees are wide. Interlace your hands behind your head. Good, and your head rests naturally in the hands. So elbows are wide, knees are wide. Take a breath in. Press your belly down into the mat. So you take that sway out of your low back. So the belly's already engaged as you press the belly button, like you're nailing your belly button into the mat. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift. Notice my shoulder blades come up. I'm looking up, not crunching my head forward. So I'm gonna look up at the ceiling. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Lower, lift. Elbows are wide. Keep moving through the breath. Good job. Lifting the shoulder blades, lifting the ribs up. The heart is sky. Like someone's pulling at your heartstring, lift and lower. Like you have a big ball underneath your chin and chest, so you keep that space open. Here we go. For 10. Stay with me. 9. 8. Keep nailing your belly button down through the mat. 7. Last 6. Exhale up. Last 4. Elbows are wide. 3. Give me 2. And 1. Little added challenge here. Reach for the rope in front of you. Reach for 10. 9. 8. Keep pressing belly down. 6. 5. 4. Reach. 3. 2. And 1. Nice job. Slowly release. Stretch the body long. Point toes, arms overhead. Breath in. And breath out. All right, hug the knees in. So you start to rock and roll the length of your spine, get some momentum, or come up into a comfortable seat. All right, from here, just rock up. So this is called boat pose. Boat pose, we kind of sit on our sits bones, that bony part in your pelvis. Options here, keep the toes on the mat, hands behind you. Good, and start to lift the legs to 90 degrees. Other option, hands out in front. All right, so we hold this. Again, someone's lifting your heartstrings up to the ceiling. We keep a flat spine here instead of rounding our back. Open the chest and lift it high. Another option is just straighten your legs. If you feel that brave attempt, hold for 5, 4. Arms even out to the side. 3. Lift the chest. 2. And 1. Slowly release. Good. Hug the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little massage. Rotate your hips clockwise and counterclockwise. Releasing low back. Make that feel good. A little self-massage. A little self-care. And as you're ready, and find a rock and roll the length of your spine and come on up to standing. All right, so from here, we're going to do our crescent series as we make our way through the last half of class, all right? So what we're gonna do is start in a low lunge, all right? So we're gonna start with our our right foot forward, left leg back, okay? So notice my knee over the ankle. Slowly rise up into crescent. Good. From here, my torso is over the hips. Option to stay on the back knee. Good. This is strengthening our quadricep muscles. Good. Also opening our hip. So open up our spine a little bit. Take a breath in. And vertical twist to the right. Again, option to twist with the bent knee on the floor. Good. Otherwise, come on up. Inhale back to center. And reach it down with a lunge. Good. From here, walk the foot out to the side, so both hands on the inside of your foot. And drop to the back knee for runner's lunge. So a couple options in runner's lunge. You can stay on the palms. Use that towel to come down onto your forearms. Okay, so stay here for a couple breaths. Another option that I'm going to show you is a variation that I like to use a towel for sometimes. So what I'm going to do is place my towel towards my back foot. And I'm going to wrap my back foot with that towel. In my runner's lunge, plant the left palm down, up and over to the right. Okay? I'm going to take that towel and grip it and pull my knee up from that back foot. So I'm getting a quadricep stretch. Good, on the left side. A little intense, but just try to breathe breathe through it, but no sharp pains here. If that's the case, come back to runner's lunge. And flex the toes. Take a breath in and a breath out. And slowly release. From here, kick the right leg back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Good. From here, lift the left leg back and step through a little lunge. Good. To our crescent lunge on the left side. So notice my torso right over the hips instead of leaning forward. All right. Option to come to the back knee. Make sure that front knee stays right over the ankle. Pull your belly button nice and strong into your spine. Good. Take a breath in. Find whatever works for you from the knee or full crescent. And twist to the left. Twisting our spine. That spine is really our stabilizer for our lifting, so we need to keep it flexible and open. Good. Inhale back to center crescent. And release back to low lunge. And walk the left foot over and off your space. Good. Option to stay on your palms in the ball of your back foot or drop to the knee. Just move around a little, opening up your hip joint. Again, another option to take your towel and come down onto your elbows. If that feels good, stay there and breathe. All right, we're going to try the quadricep stretch on the opposite side. So taking your towel, wrapping it around your foot. Just take your time here. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get situated. Good. So I'm in that low lunge. I'm gonna pull up on my knee, getting a stretch in the front side of the right leg. So I'm stretching my quadricep on the right side. Notice my left knee is still over the ankle. Little spinal twist here as well. So again, take runner's lunge from the knee or the ball of your back foot, or try a little more intensity with this quadricep stretch. But make sure it feels comfortable and you can breathe through this. Take a breath in. And a breath out, slowly release. Good job. All right, from here, curl the back toes under. Kick the left leg high, three-legged dog. Good. And back to our downward facing dog. Pick up the hips high, bend the knees, and take a breath in, and a breath out. Good. From downward facing dog, come forward, high plank. For side plank, which will help increase the strength of our core, as well as our arms and our wrists. So from here, high plank, shoulders over wrists, draw the heels back. Bring both heels over to the right side of your mat. So you're balancing on the edge of your right foot and your right wrist. Now, if this is a lot of pressure on the bottom wrist, I want you to drop to your knee right under the hip. Modified side plank. Still strengthening our wrist and our bicep. Okay. Stay here, lifting the hips high. Or again, side plank, stacking or staggering the feet, one in front of the other. Take a breath in, and release, high plank. Good, drop to the knees for a moment. Give your wrists a little rotation. Good. That might hurt the wrist just a little bit. So allow the wrist to get that fresh, oxygenated blood back. We find that compression on our joints, we release it. Shake out the wrist. Okay, from here, side plank on the opposite side. Come back into your high plank. So you're at the top of your mat. That will be facing away from you this time. So draw the heels back. Bring both heels over to the opposite side or the left. Good, I'm stacking my feet. Good, or I stagger one in front of the other. Again, option if your bottom hand is starting to shake or hurt, drop the knee down right underneath your hip. So your knee is under the hip. So you lift up high. Find your adjustments like you're pressing between two panes of glass. Good. Engaging belly to spine. Take a breath in, lift the hips. Good, and come back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in, and a breath out. Good, come to your knees once more. We'll take a little wrist stretch. So from here, bring your wrists out and just rock side to side. Just letting the wrists have a little love right here. Good, from here, this is not too painful. Bring the fingertips towards your knees. So the pinkies are in, thumbs are out. And just sit back, just real gentle on that wrist. And the muscles and tendons through the wrists, hands. Take a breath in, and a breath out. All right, and don't forget, you can always stop and grab a sip of water if you need to take a break. So from here, we're in a great spot for hero's pose, which is gonna open up our knees, compress our knee joint, and then shoot some fresh blood back into our knee joints. So if this is too much on your knees and you're not used to trying to open your knees, you're welcome to stay right here, okay? And just opening up the knees by sitting your hips to your heels. Option is also toes pose. Again, if you would like to tuck the toes under and sit back on the heels, you can stretch the arches of your feet. But I will show you our hero's pose. And again, our rolled up towel is a great support. I can place it underneath my sits bones. Gives me a little bit of a lift, okay? You can also even use a book, maybe if you have an encyclopedia or something, that might be helpful, or a stack of books to lift the hips up. So what I'm gonna do is move my calf muscles out from under my thighs and sit back, okay? For some of us, this is totally cool where we're at, and we're gonna stay here and breathe, okay? But my knees stay connected, and my ankles are shooting straight back, so they're not flexed. My toes are pressing down into the earth. Good. For more of an added challenge, you can simply try and walk the fingertips back, okay? So just opening up the knees here, being subtle and gentle. As we take that blood away from the knees, we're compressing our joint. Good, take a breath in, breath out. And if you need more of a stretch, you're welcome to remove that book or that towel and sit your sits bones, your booty down onto the earth. It's a little more intense, but make sure you don't feel any sharp pain. And if you do, please come out of this pose. Take a breath in and a breath out. You got this. Breath in. And breath out, slowly come out. Walk the fingertips forward. Feel that blood shoot back into your joints. Good. So from here, come into a tabletop position and straighten the right leg out behind you. That should feel good. And switch legs, left leg back. Straighten it up nice and slow. Thanking your body for that fresh blood coming back into the joints. All right. So from here, we will come and do a spinal strength, as we need to strengthen our low back as we compete in our squat competition. So from high plank, we're gonna come forward like we're going into chaturanga high to mid plank, but slowly with control, come all the way down to your belly. Good. Leave your hands glued onto the mat, press into the tops of your feet, chin to mat. Take a breath in. And exhale, slowly start to lift. So I have little to no weight in my palms. My strength is coming from the low back. Press the tops of your Feet in, kneecaps lift. Good, and lifting from the low back, finding strength. Take a breath in, and exhale, release. Good. We'll take that one more time. This time, you can float the hands up. So take a breath in, and exhale, slowly peel your chest forward and up like you're peeling a banana. Good. Watch as my hands start to hover. So I'm lifting from the low back. My toes are pressing down, and even open up arms to the side. So just notice that strength coming from low back, pressing down into your toenails for 3, lift for 2, and 1, slowly chin down. Just soften your hands at your side, close your eyes, and bring your ear down to the mat. Good, stay there for a breath in, and a breath out. Here you can lift the knees, bend the knees, and windshield wiper your legs left and right, nice and slow. Finding that release in the low back. Breath in, and a breath out. And from here, press up into a tabletop position as we swing around for our surrender sequence. It's the last part of our session together. We have figure 4 here. So keep the left knee bent, right ankle on top of the knee, interlace. So here you can actually stay in this position, pressing the right hand into the thigh, tuck chin to chest so your neck is relaxed. And if you need more to stretch the glute muscle, interlace hands behind the left thigh. Pull back, flexing both feet to protect the knees. As you pull back, bringing the legs closer to your chest, getting a stretch actually in the right glute muscle in the bent leg. Pulling back. You can use the elbow to press against the right inner thigh. Just find that breath here. Inhale and exhale. Slowly release. Figure 4 on the opposite side. As we're getting a nice stretch in the glute muscle, the big glute muscle, and the smaller glute muscles underneath our gluteus maximus. All right, so bend to the right leg, left ankle on top of right thigh, or whatever leg you didn't do on the other side. Stay here. You can press your hand into the inner thigh, flex the top foot. That feels good, just hang out there. Otherwise, for more of a glute stretch, interlace your hands behind the right hamstring, the right thigh, and pull back. Tuck chin to chest, so gaze down at your chest. Relax the spine. Take a breath in, and a breath out. Feeling a stretch in the left knee. Breath in and breath out. Good. Slowly release. All right, a couple more stretches. Legs up the wall pose. So option 2, bring your legs to a wall. So you want to get your booty all the way to the wall where the floor and the wall meet. Good. So your body looks like the letter L. Bend knees here. Good. Press your belly down. This is a restorative posture for your low back. Just hang out here for a moment. Just stretch the hamstrings. You can stay here. Pull gently back on the hamstrings. Or if you're a little bit more flexible, you can bend the knees a little, grab your big toes with your peace fingers. But keep pressing your tailbone down into the mat. As you feel a stretch along the back side of your legs. Tuck chin to chest. Take a breath in. Breath out. Slowing down our body is just as important as strengthening it in our workouts. Thank you. Take a breath in. Slowly release. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself another brave hug, showing yourself compassion and love. Take an inhale. And slowly release. Take a final Shavasana. So grow the legs long, maybe starfish. Open up the arms and the legs, looking like a star. Take a moment to just find the stillness, knowing that you are benefiting your body by stretching, lengthening muscles and strengthening muscles through these mobility sessions. Stay here for another minute or so. Close the eyes. Stay here in this position for as long as you would like, taking a few moments for yourself, for stillness. Thank you so much for joining me for the powerlifting mobility session for our squat mobility. Thank you so much again for joining, and we'll see you soon.